Hey guys, I hope everybody's having an absolute banging day, banging week. I'll tell you what, I've had some really good days this week, I got to tell you. And it's not, doesn't come easy, we all work on ourselves, and it's a matter of keep working the mind in the positive way, and staying in the PMA and the PPA, which is the positive progressive actions that you can take to make sure you're getting into that PMA, right? The positive mental attitude. And once you get there, it's a matter of just keep pushing the ball. You may come up against some things, but you just got to push a bit harder, right? And I had a little bit of that today. And I was about to see a new client, and all of a sudden just felt a bit of a popping going on. Like, oh, hang on, right? Just like, And your first line of attack with any kind of anxiety, any kind of thing mental, is the first signs, the absolute first signs. Because normally you're going to feel kind of a bit of an emotion first. And there's a fault behind the emotion. It's thinking first, and then you're going to get the emotion. And then you're going to react to the emotion. But there's a thought there first. So I started feeling a little bit of poppiness going off, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on there? And I went off, and by the way, I'm not a doctor. Because what I'm about to tell you is something that I use. It works for me, especially if I'm in any kind of situations where I feel some bits popping off. And I went straight over and started mixing myself some Kava. And anybody that knows anything about Kava, or Kava they call it, but we call it Kava for short. I believe it's a Polynesian tree root. And it's used in ceremonial. Someone can correct me better with this, or get in the comments, because I know what I know, and I know it's a Polynesian drink, and I know it's a ceremonial drink. I don't know all the details of it, but if you want to look it up, go and check it out. You can get it in different forms. You can get it in tincture. You can get it. I get the root powder because I give respect to the plant and for what it's about to do and everything. And I even have the little bowls, even though I didn't use them today. I just wanted to get a drink in me. Doesn't taste that great. I'm gonna admit it ain't brilliant. You can put it in different juices and that, but I just go straight with it. I've got used to it now. But there's instructions on the bag and everything like that. I do my own thing, how I do it. You've got to know about your body weight and stuff like that. But it's a good tool. Well, it's a good plant, put it that way. So I went straight over, grabbed my Kava, and I mix it on slow in a blender, and I got that going, and I thought, what's going on here, right? What's happening? And I sat in the chair and looked at what I had on the TV, and I was about half hour out before I was getting on session, and I thought, okay, so what's going on here? What's happening? And I got a hold of the client first on text and said, hey, listen, breathe a little bit, because I could be picking up on energy there. And I'm like, it's all good, just do some little bit of breath work, everything will be good. And it was, I really enjoyed the session today. And but it was just, I had this popping going on, like, hang on, the whole thing, and I could feel it moving kind of quick. And that's, those first signs, whenever you have an awareness of the first signs, it takes practice. It could be something, I know my therapist knows someone where the person gets like a metallic taste in their mouth. There's like a metallic-y taste, and they know something's about to happen, because your body chemistry will start changing, because the thought has already happened. And when you start tuning in, you're starting to get into the kind of, okay, what's going on here, right? You're tasting something, and those are the first signs that start showing with the emotion, because the subconscious mind is connecting with it. Your conscious mind isn't right now. But then once you start feeling something, it's like, whoa, what's going on? So, the first thing is like, get yourself somewhere where you can either, if you're in a crowded room or anything like that, and it's causing, get yourself off somewhere, yeah, and start getting a little breath work in. And it's the first thing I think of is like, okay, start breathing. Sometimes I slip. I'm human. I keep saying it. I'm human. Yes, I slip, absolutely. But as long as you, at some point, start bringing back and pulling back and using your tools, and this is what this is all about, is using the tools. And I looked up on the TV, I'll put it in the description. It's something that I have on in the daytime. It's a awesome, like a big wave surfing video with the lovely music in the background, very relaxing. I normally sit there and read with this on in the background. And I've always said there's a really nice zen about surfing. Not that I've ever done it, but I know surfers. And if you come to my Sundays, 11 a.m. Sunday morning Eastern Time US. And I've got a community building on there which is really coming together. There's some really nice, loyal people out there now that are coming in, and I'm also getting some more comments on the YouTube. So please, come, it's free, right? And I get on the Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and we do some breath work and that, and have a little bit of a chat. So where was I? So Sunday. So remember that for the Sunday. So anyway, getting back to where I was at with the bloody story. So I was feeling it. Look up. There's the surfing thing. I'm going to put it on the description, and I thought, but it wasn't on. I saw it on I had something on, and when I'm like, this ain't doing it. And it was a chat that was going on, an interview, and I thought, no, this is about tuning into something, anchoring yourself to something. So I'm like, it ain't doing it. And I saw the surfing. I thought, yeah, that's bingo, lollipop, that'll do it. So I put that on and I hit it. It comes on the screen. I watched it for a few seconds and then shut my eyes and just went off. And the first thing is anchoring yourself off. Let me explain the word anchor. You can use your different senses for anchoring. And it's what it is. It's pulling yourself to something and away from what the mind is telling you, right? So when those thoughts are coming in, you tell yourself, I'm thinking, and you anchor yourself off. I use the breath because you've always got it, unless you're dead, right? You've always got your breath. So it's anchoring off. So I always tell my guys to pick a spot. It's the simplest way to start anchoring off. Picking a spot, like a pinhead spot, like right here. I don't know what this medical term is for this bit right here. I call it the crevice. right here. Pick a spot right in the middle there. Close your eyes and then just start feeling that breath just going over. And each breath, make every single breath count, because if you think that every breath is the same, it's not. You never breathe the same breath from when you're born to when they put you in the ground or wherever you're going, right? So make every single breath count. I look at it as, shit, I've been given this breath. I'm going to make this one count. So start slowing it down and try and feel everything you possibly can with that breath, the body movements, the diaphragm moving, and keep coming back to this spot right here. If your mind starts wandering off, just tell yourself, I'm thinking. That tells the mind he's thinking or she's thinking. And then it brings you back, and then anchor yourself back off again. The other way you can do it is what I did with the music in the background. I anchored to the sound too. So there was the sound of which you'll hopefully go and look in the description, because it works. It's a really nice little background thing to have. So I tuned into the sound of the sound of what's coming out, the music, background kind of music that was coming out of this program on the thing, and I just put myself out. And I started telling myself, okay, breathe nice and deeply, slow it down. You know, one trick that someone loves that I said on my Sunday mornings, big shout to Pippa, hope you're doing all right. She gave me a shout and said about, when I said about putting a candle, if you think about a candle, when you're breathing out through the nose, do all the breath work through the nose, guys. And there is occasions when I'll breathe out through the mouth, but get that, there's reasons for it. I'm not going to go into it all. One of them is nitric oxide. Blends in, there's a mechanism in the nose, adds nitric oxide in when you breathe, and that, anybody that knows about nitric oxide, relaxes the blood vessels, allows that blood to start flowing. Beetroot, I use beetroot juice for it, lowers your blood pressure, great. I do a powder, concentrated, bosh, put it in a shake, drink it, right? Remember, I'm not a doctor, all right? I anchored off here, and I started bringing the music in and everything, and then I just went off, and I just kept on telling myself, okay, slow it down, think of the candle. And what I was saying about a candle, when you're breathing out, if you think about the candle flame being not too far away from your nostrils, right, you don't want to blow the candle out. You want it to like slightly quiver. So it's a matter of slowing your breath down to where you're just moving that candle flame slightly. And that will give the impression of why would you want to blow out your light? Right? Why blow out your light? And it allows you to slow that breath down on the breath out. So think of a candle flame or a lighter flame or something, right? Just a flame. And I say candle because, keep on thinking about the mind, right? What messages you're sending. Candle is like, it's done, you see it in churches, it's very relaxing, right? I use them all the time. I'm always lighting, good soy candles, nothing like, don't get candles that ain't got all that impurity stuff in it. Go to some of your local guys in the markets and that, because they're doing it right. Let me tell you, right, they're putting some really good products out there in the way of candles and that. So I just started slowing it down, slowing it completely down, anchoring myself off. And then what happened was when I finally kind of come up out of it, I don't even really remember, but my wife's standing there with this big old grin on her face. I don't know what was going on, but she had this big old grin on her face, and she goes, "You all right?" Because I was like, phew. And it's a matter of using those tools. I felt good after that. Wasn't 100%. But I was well on that, 90%. I'm like, all right, because sometimes, don't tune into those, because if you get into that, you're up there or you're on top of it, give yourself praise for that. Holy shit, look what you're doing. Don't think about the smaller pieces, right? Like, well, I'm still feeling this and I'm still feeling that, because guess what that's going to do? Pulls the mind to it. It pulls the mind straight to it. And what are you doing now? You're bringing thought to that. That's going to start building up. And before you know it, that where you was at 90% is now not so good. You just swap that around, all right? Because now you're building up something that the mind is going to believe. It's going to believe what you tell it, all right? So take it when you get up there and you're getting on. I gave myself a pat on the back. I knew I wasn't 100%. I walked in the kitchen and got a drink, and then it's a matter of starting to be present with everything. And I brought, the session to mind that was coming up, and I went straight into that. And then tuned in, boom, I was good. It's a win. And celebrate yourself when you win, please. Because we push the wins out the way and we don't count on the wins. Remember your anchors, right? You can use different things. Here is great for the breath. And if you can't feel it in the nostrils too much, you can even dampen the nostrils, and it kind of turns the volume up a little bit on what you're feeling in the nostrils until you start to get used to it, because you can really tune in and slowing that breath down. I do many different breath works. And another one I do is Wim Hof. Hopefully people have, that are still tuned into me realise, about Wim Hof. But if you don't, go and check out Wim Hof. Great guy, great breath works to follow. There's one I follow all the time on there on YouTube. And I follow it. It's really good to follow. Some people can't get along with it. That's good, that's fine. Myself, it's good. I know when I haven't done it. It's just like I know when I haven't done my meditation. Because otherwise, that what I did right there, when you really got to be on. I am saying you got to be. I normally say to my guys here, don't say got to and all that, right? But when it comes to this is going to work at lightning speed. Beyond comprehension. Absolute beyond comprehension. There's thousands and thousands of thoughts that's just gone through my head within the last 10 seconds that I don't know anything about. Nothing. Right? But it's there. So it's we haven't got to, but it's a good choice to look at yourself and how you tune into things. Get it right at the very beginning. Have that awareness. Start building up an awareness of what you're actually feeling. And then you'll start being able to tune into that and go, whoa, what's going on here? All right? I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. I'll be dropping another video tomorrow. Not sure what it's going to be on. I've been writing things down. I literally sat here. My wife and my youngest were going out up the supermarket, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, what should I do? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, I don't know whether to do a video or do a podcast, because I've got the old podcasting back. Oi, oi, get in. So I go and check out my podcast. I've put a couple out there already. I'm going to be bunging out podcasts now. I'm going to get into the interviewing stage. You'll know about that before it really happens. I've just got to make sure my settings are right on my soundboard and stuff like that, and we'll be sweet as a nut. So stay that course, guys. Loving each and every one of you. If you've gone on this far with me, thank you. I absolutely appreciate the loyalty that some of you guys are really showing me, and in the comments and that as well. I know you're watching my videos, and I'm really happy that you're passing me around and getting the word out there. So hit that subscribe, guys, if you would, because it's building that community up, getting it out there to other people that could really do with hearing something like this, right? It's just someone human that's on the other end that walks the walk, talks the talk, and here I am telling you, hey, listen, this works. My therapist told me that I was the worst case of anxiety and depression she's ever seen. So, I was definitely afraid of the phone, believe it or not. And look what I'm doing. My work is all done through video, calling and everything. So please hit that subscribe. Get the word out there so this can get out to more people. And the more people subscribe, the wider the audience gets, right? Don't let it stop with just the few. Have the few build that up to the many. This is what this is about. The world can do with this right now. And it could do with people out there like me too. So please, if you do what I do, start getting the messages out there. Start banging them out. Get an audience going and start talking to people and start bringing people together instead of the havoc that's going on. People need to start realizing we're all human. We're all human. And we all have this going on. It doesn't pick or choose who you are, where you're from. It doesn't matter. This is the same. It works the same way. Please, throw me around. And I don't mean literally. You might have a job doing that. But pass me around, please. And thank you for tuning in. I'll be dropping another one tomorrow morning. Don't know what on yet, but tune in. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit everything. Throw it out there to everybody you know. Love each and every one of you. Namaste. Stay the course.